Our thinking contributes to our social anxiety, and this video focuses on the errors we do while thinking, specifically at the error that's called all or nothing thinking. Let's take a look at some examples of thoughts that contain this error. Number 1. Girls will date me only if I'm handsome. Number 2. If I make a mistake, they will not offer me the job. 3. I stumbled over my words and looked like an idiot. These thoughts are automatic thoughts. It's our beliefs. And these beliefs come up during, before, or after this situation where we feel social anxious. Our thinking creates our feeling, and our feeling creates our behavior, our acting, and this all together creates the result, contributes to the result we get in the end. Certain thoughts can increase our anxiety, the pressure that we are experiencing, our feelings of hopelessness, desperation, frustration, and we might then avoid, we might criticize ourselves, or we might procrastinate. And this behavior contributes to the results that we get. We might end up without any girlfriend, or we might end up without a satisfying job. And all this is created by the way we think. And if certain thoughts lead to increased anxiety, increased frustration, anger, dissatisfaction with ourselves, then certain thoughts can decrease our anxiety and increase our self-confidence and self-satisfaction. And thus the transformation of our thoughts can transform our experience and our results. What exactly is all or nothing thinking? It's oversimplified thinking. It's irrational thinking. It's thinking only in two categories: good or bad, success or failure. Instead of perceiving all those shadows of gray in between, it neglects all the complexities of the world that we are in. Let's take a look at those examples. The first one: girls will date me only if I'm handsome. That means that as long as I'm experiencing myself as not handsome, then I will expect rejection in any encounter in which I will try to invite a girl for a date. Furthermore, the all or nothing thinking also contains very high standards that we keep for ourselves. I might be quite handsome, I might be average handsome, but my standard is often like that of Orlando Bloom or Johnny Depp. Thus, I will expect rejection in any encounter, and I will feel hopeless because there is nothing that in this lifetime I can do about my physical appearance. And this can have real consequences. For example, when I feel some hesitance in that conversation, I might quit the conversation because for me the hesitance is a sign of rejection, thus confirmation of my belief. And even though the girl would go with me on a date, if I gave my 100%, I will quit because I get my confirmation of my belief that I'm not handsome enough in order for girls to date me. A second example: if I make a mistake, they will not get me the job. Thus, when I perceive myself as making some mistake, be it big or small, then I might feel weak, incompetent, not really good enough to get the job. I might give up prematurely. I might create the pressure before because I will be trying to avoid each and every possible mistake. I might lose the broad perspective, the complexity of the job interview itself. Third example: I stumbled over my words and looked like an idiot. I might end up feeling humiliated, that I'm not enough. I might criticize myself if I feel that I've stumbled over my words, and thus my experience of my presentation, of my public speaking will then be quite poor. Even though I deliver the message, I might end up criticizing myself. What's the solution for all or nothing thinking? First, we need to identify those thoughts. And for many people, this might be challenging in the beginning because we might be not used to observe our thoughts. But we can practice, we can be looking at ourselves, what are we thinking, what's our inner dialogue before we engage in that situation, during the situation, and after that situation. What are we telling ourselves? And then we can write those thoughts down on a piece of paper, and we can take a look at whether some of those thoughts contain all or nothing thinking. That means they are oversimplified, they are irrational, they are considering only two categories, good and bad, of which the good is often too good. It's like perfect. Perfect, and everything else is failure. And then we can see those thoughts and we can start asking questions. We can start asking, oh, really, is that true? Am I really certain that girls will date me only if I'm handsome? Do I have any evidence that if I make a mistake that they will not offer me the job? Is there another explanation possible? For example, if I end up not getting the job, is it possible that maybe there was other applicant that was simply better? I was good, but he was simply evaluated as better in that situation, at that time, at that point. Is that possible? Or if I stumbled over my words, is it possible that I was still fulfilling the goal of my presentation, that I really still delivered my message? Or if I invite a girl for a date and she declines, is there other explanation than my physical look? Well, if I'm sincere, then very likely yes, maybe she was also anxious and she panicked and said no, even though she would like to say yes, maybe. Or she was simply too busy. Or she already had a boyfriend and did not want to cheat on him. It doesn't have to be always about me, because the social anxiety, we are often absorbed in the thought that we are the only cause, but actually we are not. Let's take a look at some transformations. The first one, girls will date me only if I'm handsome. I might arrive at, okay, I'm not the most handsome man on the planet, and at the same time many girls might be interested in me. As an evidence, I can look around and, well, there wouldn't be that many marriages if only the most handsome men managed to marry. The second one, if I make a mistake, they will not offer me the job. Well, the rational thought might be, I might make several mistakes and still they can consider me for the position, because they might focus on something different, or it might even indicate that I'm not overqualified, I'm simply not too perfect. 3. I stumbled over my words and looked like an idiot. The rational thought might be, even with stumbling over, I have a chance to deliver my message to the audience. Because maybe for me important is the message, maybe for the public, for the audience, the message is important. And the message, focusing on the message, might be something that's more under my control than the complete fluency of my speech. The transformation of our irrational thinking to our rational thinking is highly personal. Each one of us can have a different transformation because each one of us can arrive at different truth considering different aspects of the problem. And just doing this exercise can help us to free ourselves from the box, from the clutches of the all or nothing thinking. By seeing our irrational thinking, by seeing our thoughts, by transforming them and considering the rational thoughts, we can create space, we can free ourselves, we can accept our mistakes, and that creates space to really give our 100% to strive for excellence instead of spotting every mistake and demand perfection. Thus we can decrease our social anxiety, we can boost our confidence and increase the acceptance of ourselves. If you like this content, click like, of course, be rational and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.